What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? As I am starting off all my videos, please stand with Bennett College. The description is going to be in the link of this video. Please make a donation. It's wonderful. This is the best time of the year to make a donation. It's the end of the year. Get them last minute tax write-offs. $5, $10, $20. Everything is appreciated. Bennett needs to raise $5 million by the end of January, or they will be in danger of losing its accreditation. I am an alumni of Bennett College, and I did a video explaining everything that Bennett means to me and all that good stuff, giving y'all all the details. You can go back and look at that. But I'm asking, please, if you want to give a donation, charitable donation, please make it Bennett. It is all tax deductible. Now, quick drop. Just doing a little quick drop about Michelle Williams and Chad Johnson. Now, I know I'm late to it. They announced their breakup. But what happened was I was going to actually review the show, Chad Loves Michelle, for my channel, but I just never quite got to it. It was in my DVR, and I was busy doing other things, and I've had a lot going on these last couple of weeks, and I just didn't get around to it. And so I decided that I was going to wait until I watched all of the episodes that I had in my DVR before I gave an opinion or before I said my 2 cents on the breakup. First and foremost, I don't ever like to hear about people breaking up unless it's some violence involved or something like that. You know what I mean? If especially in a situation like this where it looks like maybe it was just wrong place, wrong timing. I don't know. I will say this. First of all, I thought Chad was mixed. I didn't know he was white. He said he was getting comments, and social media about him being white and all this other stuff. He wouldn't have gotten them from me because I thought he was mixed. I just thought he was real light, bright, damn near white. I didn't know he was white. But, so we have a mixed couple. We see Michelle Williams. If you follow Michelle Williams and you know about Michelle Williams, don't let the bootylicious get you twisted. She's always been very spiritual and always been very upfront about her Christianity. When Destiny's Child took a break, she did a solo album. She did a gospel album, and I think she's done now maybe 4 gospel albums. Chad is a pastor, which I didn't know. I mean, I just saw them on Instagram. I didn't know who this dude was. But he's a pastor. He's works for the NFL. Well, he has worked for the NFL. And so you always think about like a chaplain that travels with the team and prays with the team and things like that. Those are the types of positions you never think about people like how you get that job? You know what I mean? But that's what he was. I think he actually worked with the Pittsburgh Steelers for a while. He said he's been at a couple of Super Bowls where he prayed over the team before the Super Bowl. So you never really think about those kinds of positions or those jobs existing. But he definitely has very much been dedicated to his religion. And he's very, out there if you're out in, that world, people knew who he was. And so we see the first episode with them getting engaged. And then the next episode was when Michelle checked herself into the mental hospital, which was very public. And she said she didn't intend for it to be public, but once she knew that it was going to be public, then that's when she told her story. Now, from that point forward, they seem to be having a lot of problems. A lot of people gave Chad issues because of things he did or said on the show. But I'm going to say this. Dealing with somebody that has a mental issue is a hard thing to do, because as that person is processing and dealing with their illness, their significant other, the people that love them, that are around them, have to figure out how to deal with that mental illness as well. And if that was the first time that he's dealt with mental illness on such an intimate level, and if that was the first time that he's dealt with it with her, and it's unfortunate that the cameras were there to kind of pick up on everything. Like, I heard people making comments about, why would he tell her, have you taken your meds? That's so insensitive to say. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I've said that to people. I know people, I have friends, family who suffer from mental illness, and when they start showing certain signs and I start seeing things that don't seem right, I will ask them, you took your meds today? I didn't know that was a bad thing to say. I didn't know that was the wrong thing to say. So I feel like it's unfortunate that the cameras were following them at this moment. I think that when the concept was thought up, when the show started, the intention was that it would go in a way different trajectory, which I'm sure the finale was going to be the wedding, because they had a wedding date set. They were supposed to be married before the end of the year, and we see they broke up before the end of the year. Matter of fact, the date that they had originally set was actually filmed on the show, where they were like, well, we were supposed to be getting married today, so it seemed like it was a lot of it was coming from Michelle in the beginning. Like, she was breaking up with him, and whenever they would get into an argument, she was like, well, then, let's just break up. That seemed to be, but taking the mental illness out of it, that just may be her mechanism, her coping mechanism. We know a lot of people, the minute you get into an argument, they just like, well, fuck it then. Well, let's just not be together. You go your way, I'm going to go my way, and that's that. You know what I mean? We know a lot of people who do that. And Michelle said that she knows that she can cut with her words, that she knows that she digs deep with her words. And so with that being said, I'm sorry to see that it didn't work out. However, if you're watching the show, you definitely saw that their issues were greater than... They had issues that they needed to work through. I think the good thing is that both of them were willing to work through it. They were in counseling. They were talking to people. They were seeking out advice from other couples. All of the things that people should do to be proactive with their relationship being successful. But unfortunately, it seemed like maybe some of their obstacles were too great. But what I do believe they could get back together. I believe that they might need to work on some things individually, and that I think they could come back together, because I believe that it was a genuine relationship, and I believe they genuinely loved each other. I think that the mental illness became a really big issue that neither one of them, I think both of them need to process it away from each other, especially Michelle, because it's her situation. Chad was also going through a transition with what he wanted to do career-wise, and that's always a big adjustment and transition too. So I think that sad to see them break up, but I think that the door could be open for them to reconcile. I just think that Michelle needs to process and work through and figure out what works for her as a single woman, and then they could go back to a couple and eventually go. I think they might even be able to make it to the aisle. I don't know, I could be wrong. But that's just, and maybe I just love, you know what I mean? But I just feel like I didn't see anything that could not be overcome. I saw a lot of apprehension. I saw a lot of fear. I saw a lot of dealing with something you never dealt with before. But I didn't see anything that could not be overcome. I just didn't. All right. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.